We are 3 games in the conference finals in the West and the East, and we are about to break it all down here sa panibagong episode ng Pinoy Step Podcast.
From buzzer beaters to blockbuster trades, this is your front row seat to the NBA.
Here at Pinoy Step Podcast, we go deep into every play, every move, and the insider stories you won't hear anywhere else.
All the highlights, all the hot takes, walang mintis. This is the Pinoy Step Podcast, powered by the Arena Plus Sportsbook. Sama-sama sa Arena. Support your team by watching and playing at arenaplus.ph. Dito ang home court ng tunay na Pinoy fans.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Pinoy Step Podcast. I am Anton Rojas, and we are in the thick of things pagdating sa conference finals sa West at sa East. And of course, we are about to break it all down here. We'd like to thank everybody, lahat ng mga nanunod, nakikinig sa amin dito sa ating mga social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, TikTok, wherever it is you listen and watch your podcast. Maraming salamat po. My name is Anton Rojas, and rejoining me on the show is a guy who apparently has the best Pinoy step I've seen from the age bracket of 40 to 45, and he came ready to the show.
Liar.
Wearing his classic original Penny Hardaway Suns jersey and the shoes that he used to execute the smoothest Pinoy step I've seen. Mr. Christian Luanzon.
Grabe. Probably the best intro you've had in a decade.
In a decade. In a decade.
You're such a good liar. I mean,
just go to my Instagram post, guys. It's there.
Thank you for the kind words, Anton, but I have to disagree with that. Wait until our former player, now PBA player, Richie Rivero, gets to 40. Mas maganda pa rin yun sa kanya.
Hey, you have a story about that, by the way. I mean, before we get to it dito sa ating show, let's talk about the origin of the Pinoy step, because, you know, this has been talked about. Some people have told me si Kiefer Ravena nagsimula ng Pinoy step. Of course, Richie Rivero popularized it when he was playing in the UAAP.
Right.
You have a story with regards to a one-on-one game between yourself and Richie Rivero.
Yeah, obviously, the Pinoy step, just a little bit of history. Okay? The origin of the Pinoy step, okay? Kumbaga, ano na yan 2.0 na yan 1.0 is the side step or the Euro step.
The Euro,
diba?
yes.
Sa Pilipinas, okay, ang nagpauso niyan, ang nagpopularize yan on TV, wala pang social media dati, obviously, late 80s, 90s, no? Elmer Reyes.
Elmer Reyes.
Tatay
the dad of Rafi Reyes.
Tatay ni Rafi Reyes. You know, siyang siyang mahusay gawin yan, yung side step. And then obviously in the NBA, guys like Ginobili, in side step. And then the Pinoy step, di ba? Sabi mo, you can make a case, si Kiefer, no? But, you know, Richie, he just took it to another level. Now, fast forward, okay, from his LaSalle days, na nakita na natin yon, the only player in the UAP, by the way, to win 2 championships with different schools. No? Si Richie with LaSalle and, you know, with the Fighting Maroons with us. Season 84. So we were in a bubble. We were practicing, obviously. And then, I think it was mid-season. No? And then sabi ko sa kanya, habang pinagpupulot ko siya ng bola, you know, sa shooting.
Grabe, ang galing naman ng tigapulot ng bola ni Richie.
It's part of the job. So he's one of our key players. So sabi ko sa kanya, alam mo Richie, hindi ko magets. Bakit yung mga kalaban talon ng talon sa fake mo? You know, especially in that Pinoy step move. And then obviously napakadaming highlights, i-search nyo lang. Yeah. And then lo and behold, no, that conversation, that very same practice, nag-end up sa one-on-one. Nag-one-on-one kami.
Sinampolan ka.
Oo. To make the long of it short, after, okay, he won. Okay. I think it was like 5-3, 5-4. It was just 1-5. And then sabi ko sa kanya, gets ko na. Because I bit twice on his face. Even though, in my head, I was telling myself, hindi ako kakagat sa fake na to. Hindi ako kakagat sa fake na to. And then I bit twice. Ang nakakatawa pa ron, ito ba, adding insult to injury, kasama ko sa coaching staff, ang kanyang ama. Na si Paulo Rivero, one of our SNCs or strength and conditioning coaches. Nanonood. Tumatawa sa gilid. Gumaganon. Nakala mo si who's that? Tom or Jerry or whoever? Sino bang pusa? Si Tom?
Tom.
Si Tom na tumatawa sa gilid. Anyway.
Tom and Jerry.
Yan yun. Kaya kakaiba yung pag si Richie ang gumawa talagang mapapakagat ka sa fake.
I will get the Richie and Coach Paulo version at some point because there are so many versions of the Pinoy Step. Saan ba nagsimula? Sino nagpauso? And this is just an example of one of the many versions. So now that we've set the tone para sa ating episode ngayon, episode 10, we will get to our fast break kung saan pag-uusapan natin ang pinakamainit na headlines around the NBA.
Quick break from the conversation, but if you're really into sports like us, level up na ang suporta. Punta na sa arenaplus.ph and back your team habang live ang game. Mas solid pag sama-sama tayong sumusuporta. Visit now at arenaplus.ph. Basketball is more than just the game. It's the culture, the players, and the stories behind every shot.
Anong pakiramdam na maglaro sa finals?
Paano nga ba talaga ang buhay ng isang pro player?
At anong mga kalokohan ang nangyayari sa dugout?
Lahat yan at marami pang iba pag-uusapan natin dito sa Basketboleros.
Kung mahal mo ang laro, mas lalo mong mamahalin ang podcast na to. Hosted by Ranidel de Ocampo and GB Labrador. Powered by the Arena Plus Sportsbook. Sama-sama sa arena.
Hello everybody, you're still watching the Pinoy Step podcast and now we get to our fast break. Let's run by these topics real quick bago tayo tumungo sa Eastern Conference Finals at sa Western Conference Finals na ongoing ngayon. Starting off with this news regarding a prospect na hindi pa natin napag-uusapan dito sa ating programa. Cedric Coward. As I said, hindi pa natin napag-uusapan, but he is making waves after a strong draft combine performance. He forgoes his decision to transfer from Washington State to Duke and to remain as a NBA draft prospect.
Reading this, when we got the scripts, and first thing that came to me, Anton, is that I could relate to him in a way. Cedric Coward, by the way, 21-year-old from Washington State, averaged close to 18 points, 7 boards. He's more like a spot-up shooter guy. Can finish as well. Pretty decent. Stands about maybe 6'6", 6'7".
He's listed 6'6".
Yeah, 6'7". His frame needs a little bit of work, especially if he wants to be like a 3-and-D guy. Alam naman natin, ang NBA full of talented wings. So, but going back, I could understand yung kanyang decision because he entered the transfer portal. Papasok, palipat, ng UP Fighting. Sorry.
Oy, may bago
Duke.
May bago. Pre, may bago, pre.
ng Duke. Ano ka ba? NBA pinag-uusapan natin.
Pre, ikaw naman.
Ikaw naman, pre. So anyway, I could somewhat relate to this because I finished my last year in the UAP 2004, but I entered the draft 2006. Okay, so I had a pretty solid year. We didn't make the Final Four, but I had a pretty solid year individually, but because I skipped the 2005 draft because of my studies. Parang promise ko yun sa daddy ko eh. But because of that, it sort of hurt my value. Medyo nakalimutan na ako, kumbaga 2 years later.
Yeah.
So, pagdating ng 2006, the combine really helped me to perform.
And remind people of who you are and what you can do.
In a way, yeah. So, ano kasi yun it was a time when, mga kasabay ko, the likes of Eli Tenorio, Joseph Yo, Kelly Williams, which were the top 3 in the draft. Arwin Santos.
Kasama mo naman sila sa mga Chalk magazine, Chris.
Right.
Yeah, you're on the same line.
Irrelevant. Okay. Anyway, so having a...
you had hair.
At that time, parang wala na. The only difference, Anto, nung time na yun, by choice yun. Eto, wala na akong choice. So anyway, the combine, especially for players like Cedric Howard or like me, it helps us in a way that yun nga, maybe to remind people that these are the things we could do. So syempre nandyan yung mga vertical and whatever. So having a strong combine helped him change his decision. And this is not just some decision na parang parang asawa ko na gusto ko kumain dito and then 5 minutes into it na malapit na, ayoko na pala dyan. This is a big time decision. This is a career decision. So for him to change his mind because of combine is a big thing for him and his family, obviously. And I quote, sabi niya, this is the best opportunity for me to achieve part of my dream, which is making the NBA. Yan ang dulo ng lahat eh.
Yeah.
The NBA. So, God bless to him.
Yeah, and I saw one interview that he did. Sinabi niya, nakuha naman niya yung blessing ni Duke coach John Shire. So, 100% he's staying in the draft. But I think you explained it perfectly. Na at the end of the day, you have to, go for the NBA, and this is dito bumango yung pangalan niya.
Yeah.
So now
I ended up not getting drafted, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, I ended up in the second round. Drafted 18th by Alaska. So I hope na si Cedric Howard, same thing.
Si Cedric Howard is actually projected to be drafted by Brooklyn at 26.
26. Projected yun. Okay. Now, here's the thing. In the NBA, okay, from what I know, I'm not sure about the new CBA rules, what's going to apply next year. Okay. First round guaranteed 3 years. First round's guaranteed. So, kung yung sinasabi mo, projected siya, 26, mangyari, good for him. Guaranteed ka, 3 years. Second round, partially guaranteed. So, if you're given like a 3-year contract, usually guaranteed ang first or maybe the second year, option na ng team ang third. So, yun lang yun. The risk of getting into the draft.
So I think it was a good move for him na, he performed at the combine. His name was able to shoot up at least in the first round.
Yeah, kinakabahan na si Cam Thomas.
All right, let's go to the next headline. The New York Knicks and their holes with regards to defense. And we're going to talk about this more in depth when we break down the Eastern Conference Finals, the first 3 games that have happened so far in this very exciting and entertaining series, albeit lopsided in the first 2, well, not really lopsided, but Indiana took the first 2 games. They had no answer for Pascal Siakam in game 2. And I was watching Draymond Green explain and admit that during the 2019 NBA Finals, where Golden State played against
Toronto,
the Raptors, he lost his matchup to Pascal Siakam. And sabi niya, there are only 2 times in his career in the playoffs that he felt he lost his matchup. That was the first. The second time was this year against Julius Randle.
Yeah.
So, aminado siya na the reason why he lost his matchup to Pascal Siakam is they don't run plays for Siakam. He just outworks you. He moves without the ball. He runs the break and can do it all. He's a 3-level scorer. He can post up. He's got mid-range. He's got a long ball. So, hindi ma-figure out ng New York itong si Pascal Siakam.
Tama. I mean, 39 points. Game 2 obviously was his. Kept them in the game. Their heads afloat in the first half. His best postseason career points, highest 39 points. Diba? And nabanggit mo nga, won the championship noong 2019. And then Draymond, for somebody like Draymond Green to say that, I mean, alam mong tatanggapin mo kasi bihirang umamin to. Di ba?
Si Draymond Green. Dalawang player lang.
Here's the thing. Di ba? Indiana, being a small market team, you could say that Indiana is synonymous. It's not in the dictionary. It's synonymous to the word underrated. You talk about this trade. What was this? Last year's trade? 2 years ago? one of the more underrated trades, Indiana, by Indiana.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about 6'9" guy who could play like a wing.
Yeah.
Now, dagdagan ko yan one of the reasons why they lost that series, he lost the matchup, was because they also lost Kevin Durant.
Correct.
Si
Yeah.
Warriors, di ba? Obviously, Toronto, their wings were Kawhi Leonard, who probably the best, had the best numbers in terms of his career there, and maybe in the last few years as a Spurs. My point is, if Durant was there on the defensive end, and remember, Durant was having an outstanding defensive year before the injury. So, nawala yung option nila to switch. And Durant's like 7 feet. And he could match up well with Siakam. So, obviously, mas nahirapan si Draymond Green doon. The second thing is, in this game against the Knicks, okay, sabi ko kept them in the game, okay? But you just have to appreciate itong New York of how they not only out-executed New York, pero how they outworked them also, which we will talk about them a little bit. So ikaw ba, ano mo dyan? Tingin mo sa series na to? Ngayon, game 3 na.
Ano na ang score?
Nako, final na!
Guys, Ang bilis. Oh, guys,
Final na ba?
We are recording this episode. Obviously, we drop episodes every Thursday, but we are recording at the time na ginaganap ngayon yung game 3.
Hindi pa final.
Okay.
Pero,
ano
5 minutes, lamang na ang New York, 91-90.
Uy. Okay.
After being down as much as 20 in the second quarter.
Babalikan natin yan. But before we end this headline right here, Chris, Charles Barkley also said that Pascal Siakam is the most underrated player in the NBA. Do you agree with Mr. Guaranteed?
I just said it. Well, the most underrated player in the NBA.
Yes, Pascal Siakam daw. Garantisado.
Well, that's something I gotta think about. But I would say, top 3, definitely. Kasi, again, underrated because he's in a small market city. And then Indiana in itself also underrated team then.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about much about Indiana this season after them making the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oo nga.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Man, I didn't even know na 3-time All-Star na pala itong si Pascal Siakam. Nakakatatlong, that's a big deal.
I think he made the All-Star team this year, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. So talagang hindi
over
siya
Halliburton. Halliburton didn't make the All-Star.
I think Chuck's got a point. All right, last headline. Michael Malone, former head coach of the Denver Nuggets, binash ng Denver. Binash just for his comments on ESPN praising SGA. Grabe ang mga tao sa mundo. Pinuri lang niya si SGA. And they said that he was dissing his former player, Nikola Jokic.
I saw, nakita ko yung interview na yan. And you know what? Initially, I couldn't agree more kasi yun din naging dating sa akin.
Okay.
Because from what I remember, the exact words were, this is why Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP this season. Parang ganon. Or it was like that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played like the MVP. It was some, or maybe something.
It was the first one that you said.
More of like the first one, right?
It was more of like the first one that you said.
And this was after game 1.
Yes, game 1.
This was after game 1.
Game 1 of the Minnesota OKC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out, okay, here's the thing. It came out naturally, pero wag natin kalimutan to, and we're in this business, You have time to sort of like collect your thoughts. Okay? Para kolektahin lahat ng mga preparations mo.
And even correct yourself.
Maybe.
During the same broadcast.
Right. Right. Now, given that, people like us was given time on TV to give their opinions, whatever, there's a certain time frame, sa mga ganyang interviews. And sometimes, yung mga nagtatanong, hindi nila malalaman exactly yung tanong eh. So to me, it came out naturally. And I think he really thinks Shea is the MVP out of bitterness maybe. Okay? Because let's not forget, tinanggal siya abruptly. Biglaan.
Pero bakit kasalanan ni Jokic yun? Why is that?
Here's the belief in the NBA. And this started maybe during LeBron's era. Okay? Superstars, alam naman natin yung the power they have. Okay? And obviously, being the best player in the world, thus the best player in the NBA in Jokic, okay? There's a 90% chance or more
that he
signed off on it. Okay? Because if you're the owner, no? If you're the owner, remember, tinanggal silang dalawa. Ni Calvin Booth, yung GM. Sabayan eh. Sabayan.
Yeah.
So it was the usually decision ng manager yan. But this time, it was, since sabay sila tinanggal, decision of the owner. Diba?
And then during the press con, Christian, sinabi rin ni Nikola Jokic that if they were expendable, maybe even he is expendable.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said.
Naalala ko. So, there's a belief that he signed off to this because usually, in this case, yung owners, before they make the move, they would want to know how his moneymaker in Jokic thinks about it. Diba? So, but who knows? I mean, we can only speculate.
Kasi yung personality ni Jokic, parang hindi naman siya yung tipong mangingialam sa front office. But like you said, who knows? But we move on. And Denver is no longer in the hunt for the NBA Finals, the championship. And Michael Malone went from champion head coach to ESPN analyst.
Which is not too bad.
Which is not too bad, by the way. He went to work
looks good
right
too.
away. Yeah, he looks good in a suit. And if he can make more unfiltered comments, it's good TV.
It's also a chance for him to have more rest as a head coach. Kakaibang stress yan.
Yeah, 510 wins as an NBA head coach combined in 10 seasons.
And the first one
NBA.
to give, obviously, Denver, it's a historic NBA championship.
Yeah, so Godspeed, Mr. Michael Malone. Sana Denver, tigilan nyo na siya. Okay, nakapagbigay naman siya ng championship. All right, that wraps up our fast break. And when we continue the show, Christian Luanzon and I will break down what has been going down so far in the Western Conference Finals between the OKC Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Halftime break? Not really. This is your chance to lock in. You know, every athlete has one thing in common. Di nila kinaya ng mag-isa. So if you're cheering from home or on the go, ipakita mo ang suporta by visiting arenaplus.ph kasi bawat fan may impact. Catch the games live for free at arenaplus.ph.
Every champion has a story. And behind every success, there's a journey.
Alam mo yung feeling na parang gusto mong sumuko pero lumalaban ka pa rin?
Dahil sa support system, sa passion, at syempre sa sariling determinasyon. Lahat tayo may kwento. And here, we share ours with you.
PB&J is all about the struggles, the wins, and the journey in between. PB&J. Peanut Butter and Jella. Brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook. Sama-sama sa arena.
You're still rolling with us here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Anton Rojas with Christian Luanzon. And now we get to our Western Conference Finals breakdown. And at this point of our recording, episode 10, 3 games have been concluded. And the OKC Thunder still hold a 2-1 series lead against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who finally showed some signs of life after dominating the Thunder with physicality and effort in game number 3. Let's break it down game by game, starting with game number 1.
Okay.
114-88, 31 points from the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And in this game, Rudy Gobert looked unplayable.
He did. And, you know, Shai was just outstanding, had 38 in game 2. to your point, but it's just hard. First of all, ang hirap maglaro doon sa OKC. You know, nanonood lang tayo sa TV.
Yeah, grabe.
And then they're playing to their name. That building is just electric. You know, kala mo may mga totoong thunder. You know, it's like, and then they just draw off yung ibang klase yung energy ng crowd doon, no? And this is remarkable because OKC is one of the, you know, small market teams as well. 3 of the 4 remaining teams, small market cities. That's something to point out. And ang ganda nung ano nila eh. Caruso, the defensive matchups, Cason Wallace, right? Who barely saw action in the Denver series, I believe. And then he came out firing with, I think, 3 3-pointers early, especially early in that first half. But it was just pure dominance, no, yung pinakita, especially on the defensive end. You turn the ball over.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 2 points on the other end. And they just turned the ball over too many, especially in game 1.
If there was one player in the NBA who is the most dangerous on the fast break from a turnover, it's J-Dub, Jalen Williams. I felt this in the Denver series. Once he gets the ball, he's off to the races. There is no way you can catch up to this guy with his long strides, his youth, and athleticism. And I said this during a previous episode. I think this is good for the league, the way OKC is playing. Kasi, for the longest time, in recent memory, we've been living in the jump shot era. The Steph Curry era, where people just jack up threes. The Boston Celtics have been doing that following the GSW blueprint. And I said here on the show that I feel like it could be good for the league if OKC introduces, or they are showing it already to the whole world, that you can win with suffocating defense and effort and outworking the opponent.
No, pinag-uusapan natin dito, the number 1 defense in the NBA. The point differential of almost 13 points, which is historic. Even better than what Boston displayed last year when they won the championship. And you're talking about names, at least in comparison sa Boston Celtics. They have Porzingis, Horford, Brown, Tatum, who are in their at least 7th year in the league, 5th at least, di ba? But you're talking about Holmgren, Hartenstein, J-Dub, first-time All-Star this year.
Yeah.
Diba? Caruso has NBA experience, an NBA championship in 2020, but he was undrafted, relatively young, right?
But what a pickup by OKC.
What a pickup by OKC. I think it was a good train for both teams. Diba? What's that? Australian guy. Point guard. Yung kanyang kapalit niya?
Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey. Right? And Josh Giddey's 21 years old. Perfect also for the Bulls. But Mark Dagnall, to me, they win this series. Okay? Which I think they will. Yung picture nila ni Caruso. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
No, yung they have a picture, di ba? Undrafted si Caruso.
Okay.
His first G League team was with the Thunder, yung G League team ng Oklahoma City. And they have ang coach nila nun, guess who? Mark Dagnall.
Wow.
And then, pinagtabi nila yung picture, yung current picture ni Caruso at ni Mark Dagnall in the finals.
Wow.
So, you talk about, how everything was, yung circle of life, no?
So that explains why he was willing to give up Josh Giddey.
Huwag natin kalimutan, last season, yung postseason, Josh Giddey, who was a starter for the most part of the season, in the postseason, came off the bench and then became unplayable because of his, primarily because of his shooting, right? And then for them, not to give up a lot, di ba? Ang nakuha lang ng Bulls, kundi parang one-on-one trade lang yun eh. Parang walang, out of the zillions of draft picks na meron ang OKC, wala rin nakuha kasi in terms of value, especially offensively, mataas din naman yung value ni Giddey. Maganda rin naman yung pineform niya this year for the Bulls, right?
The thing is though, Josh Giddey was a lottery pick. whereas
Yung pa isa,
Alex Caruso was not.
undrafted.
So
Diba?
you would think like on paper, lugi yung Bulls.
Yeah.
Diba? But that explains everything. That explains why. The history between the coach and his player.
Tama. And to me, yan yung malaking bagay not only for this series but for this season. That trade, di ba? Sabi nga, leadership starts on the top. Management made that trade. They signed Hartenstein.
Yeah.
And then they fell short last year even after being the number 1 team. Di ba? Natalo sila ng Dallas. So they got the experience in. That was your issue with them, remember? They got the experience.
Yeah, you were
because
right.
you bet on
right.
Denver.
Yep, I did.
I told you they would get the experience.
Yeah. Sinabi mo, dun sila kumukuha ng experience sa series na yun.
Sa series yan
and
against
that
Denver.
7-game series, that was a wealth of experience.
It was.
And alam mo yung sinasabi nila sa mga TikTok, pakita mo kung sino ka. Pinakita ng OKC kung sino sila in a Game 7 against the Denver Nuggets.
Wag natin kalimutan. They were down 2-1 after 3 games.
Yeah.
And they win 2 straight to be up 3-2. And there was a stretch, which we covered 2 weeks ago, wherein they were able to force Jokic, I think, what was that, games 4 and 5, to his lowest percentage, below 40%, or is it below 35%, something like that. No? Kaya ibang klase yung kanilang depensa. Kaya ang laking bagay nung pagkuha nila kay Caruso and Hartenstein. They could play big. Yeah. They could play little small but still be big. A J-Dub at the 4. Grabe yung flexibility nila.
There was a moment where Jokic got the ball in the elbow and he was stripped by Alex Caruso. And I was watching that game at 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m. tip-off. I said, man, this OKC Thunder defense, if there was any suffocating defense, you know, if you Google suffocating defense, ang lalabas yung OKC Thunder of the 2024-25 season.
How about we move a little forward? That's game 1, right? In terms of yung Western Conference Finals. Game 2, okay? Nagkaroon ng konting adjustment ang Minnesota, which really hurt them. I don't know if you saw this. There was a part of the game, I think it was in the 3rd quarter, they went zone.
Yeah, I saw this. Ginaya nila yung Denver. Ginagawa ng Denver.
It was effective for Denver, but it was not effective for Minnesota. Why? Because Minnesota, you look at their 5, more they're a taller team than Denver.
Yeah.
They're more athletic. Daniels, Randall, Gobert, even yung pinsan ni SGA. Nikhil Alexander Walker. Right? Naz Reid. They come in. Pero they were not into it. Dun lumaki yung lamang ng OKC. It's like, we're gonna try something, but you gotta make sure, here's always, Anton, I'm generally speaking, it's always a misconception about the zone.
Yeah.
It is harder to execute than a man-to-man defense. Why? Because you're defending areas. It's area of responsibility. Which means the more you need to close out, the more you need to chase. Compared to playing man-to-man. Okay? And obviously, what you're giving up, if you're playing in a zone, ang gini-give up mo yung mga outside shots. You're trying to protect the paint.
Correct.
Right? The thing is, parang hindi nag-buy in. You could see sa body language. And it was just terrible. And then, obviously, game 2, 4th quarter, after an outstanding playoffs by Randall, he was benched in the 4th quarter.
He wet the bed in game 2. I mean, you cannot be the second best player on a Western Conference squad that wants to win the WCF Western Conference Finals and just score 6 points. When Anthony
After scoring
Edwards,
18 nung first half nung game 1.
Yeah. And Anthony Edwards made the adjustment because he was criticized in game number 1 for scoring just 18 points. So he said, sige, magiging agresibo ako sa game number 2. Game number 2, he scored 32 points. But his partner in crime, Randall, was nowhere to be found, and that hurt them.
Right. And to me, we all know game 3, which we'll dive into later, a little bit later. Game 3 turned out to be different for them.
Yeah.
But the first 2 games, I still think, approaching game 4, I think game 4, OKC is going to take it. I got OKC in 5.
Wow. OKC in 5. Alright, so during the previous episode, sabi ko matigas ang ulo ko. Because I'm dreaming of a New York, Minnesota finals, and we're gonna find out in a bit whether that
New
dream
York
is
up
still
by
alive.
3. 8 seconds remaining. Brunson up. It's a 2-possession ball game. 8 seconds left.
Ooh, live updates from Mr. Christian Luanzo, Mr. Pinoy Step.
No.
Okay, let's move on to game number 3. Minnesota dominates OKC.
Yeah.
143-101, and there was an interesting clip that I saw. Naka-mic up pala si SGA. And he was explaining to his teammate, I forgot who it was. J-Dub was on his left. There was another
I didn't
dude
see
on
this.
his
Sige,
right.
paki-explain.
Yeah, so ina-explain niya kung bakit sila natalo.
Okay.
Sabi niya, alright, number one, physicality. They were more physical than us. Number 2, effort.
With that Canadian, no?
Yeah. Number 2, effort.
Tone.
And then sabi niya, they made shots, we missed shots.
Yeah.
Okay, so we fixed that, we're gonna be good. So yun, ganun kasimple. And even the analysts, sina Shaq, sina Charles Barkley, Draymond Green, Kenny Smith, they were explaining that Minnesota made OKC feel them. The physicality was there. But ako, since nasa Pilipinas tayo, I don't know if you're gonna get this analogy. Sa volleyball kasi, meron tinatawag na reverse sweep. Okay? At nangyayari,
You have to explain to me. I
Okay.
don't watch volleyball.
Ang reverse sweep po ay nangyayari sa volleyball kapag ang isang koponan ay lumamang na ng 2 sets.
Okay.
Kasi to win a game in volleyball,
3 sets. Tama?
I never thought I would explain volleyball to Christian Luanzon, but here we are on the Pinoy Step
That's
podcast.
why sa basketball lang ako eh.
Oh, 3 steps, partner. Sorry.
Sets.
Steps tuloy, Pinoy Step.
Ah.
3 sets.
Yan, alam ko yan.
Yan,
Oo.
3 sets
Ah.
para manalo sa isang volleyball.
I got a quick story,
Yeah.
by the way. Go.
Okay.
Sa volleyball.
Sige, after. Minsan kasi, ang nangyayari sa volleyball, pag lumamang na ng 2 sets, nagre-relax.
Parang basketball lang.
Nagre-relax.
Parang basketball
So,
lang.
yung reverse sweep happens when one team relaxes and the team that was trailing sweeps the rest of the way and wins in comeback fashion.
So, parang...
Feeling ko ganun ang nangyari dito. Nag-relax yung OKC Thunder.
Okay.
Nag-relax sila, partner. I feel like the OKC showed their immaturity. They were a bunch of dogs that played with their food in Game 3. I think that's what happened.
I agree. Okay. But you cannot take away the credit na the way, the energy, how they respond. It's always how you respond. Kung paano nag-respond itong Minnesota. Because to me, the one that set the tone were 2 plays. Okay? Yung loose ball, that long rebound, long loose ball, and then Ant, he just races to get that loose ball in the half court. Almost, okay, goes out of bounds, but was able to save it, and that thunderous dunk.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then may kasunod pa, di ba?
May kasunod pa. Agaw na to. Okay? Off the ball screen, I think it was J-Dub or maybe Dort. Yeah, it was Dort. Halos 2 kamay pa eh.
Yeah.
Siya yung tao nung screener. No, nung palabas siya, halos 2 kamay pa yung ginamit niya. Usually, you would use your inside hand. And then that steal. And then long and behold, they're up by 20. They score 33 points, I believe, nung after 1 quarter. And then the crowd is just energized. Right? They score 72 after 2 quarters. The highest in franchise history. And then eventually, they score 143 to finish the game, win by 41. The highest in blowout also in franchise history sa postseason. Also their highest scoring output after a game. Okay? Ito, what's notable in this game, aside from the Ant Edwards setting the tone, Naz Reid finally hits a 3 after being 0 for 16. It was on the left wing. And then, nagpalalim si Chris Finch. Ginamit si Terrence Shannon Jr. You know him?
No, I don't.
Terrence Shannon
I'm not
Jr..
even gonna pretend.
Terrence Shannon Jr.
The who?
Okay. He's a rookie out of Texas, I believe. Hindi ginagamit buong season. First round pick, I think he was 24th. And then he comes out with, he was just oozing with confidence. First basket niya was a 3-point play, drive to the basket from the corner. At one point, it was just hard not to mention him anymore. Richard Jefferson, the analyst from ESPN, sabi niya, okay, how about Terrence Shannon Jr. Having 9 points compared to, and this was parang midway second quarter na. 9 points Pero tapos yung first 5 ng OKC, first 5 kasama sila Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Ano na? 15 points combined. So, ang laking bagay nun. Ikaw ba, anong tingin mo sa larong yun?
Yun nga, na walang sense of urgency.
Walang sense of urgency.
Tapos nagkumpiyansa. Gaya na sinasabi ng mga volleyball coaches. Guys, hindi natatapos ang volleyball sa 2 sets. Hindi natatapos ang set sa 25. I don't know if you can relate to this.
Tsaka si Alexander, di ba? Sabi mo nga, nag-relax, di ba?
Yeah.
9 attempts only.
Yeah.
For 14 points.
Yeah.
I mean, MVP. Alam mo, unang pumasok sa isip ko? Yung GOAT natin, yung idol mo. I don't think he's ever... Jordan, di ba?
Killer instinct.
Even in a losing game, you would never see him, di ba, have only 9 attempts.
Pinaalala mo, okay, there was one play. Anthony Edwards driving down the lane, gets up in the air, and then goes for the reverse.
Oh, yes.
A la MJ.
Left lane.
And I started to believe the rumors that Ant Edwards is somehow the long-lost son of Michael Jordan.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Di ba may rumor na yung kalahati ng mukha ni Jordan tapos yung isang kalahati ng mukha ni Anthony Edwards pinagsasama tapos may resemblance.
Doon mo makikita na talagang agresibo si Ante. Sabi mo nga, nung game 1, medyo relax, di ba?
Yeah.
Ano yan top ball screen, and then 2 tao, he had to beat 2 people, and eventually 3 people, pati yung corner guy.
Yeah.
And then for him to make that reverse from left, and then sa kabila, papuntang right.
Kay Jordan lang natin nakikita yun eh.
Oo. Tsaka kay Kobe.
Yeah. Yung kay Jordan, ang layo kasi. Yeah, Kobe also.
Hindi, pero kay Jordan kasi maganda sa kanya. Yung pectus na ganun.
Yeah.
Parang wala pang
Tsaka yung lumulusot sa 2 big man sa ere.
Tama.
Lumulusot eh.
Kasi pababa na eh. Si Jordan paangat pa lang. So that's 2-1. But I think game by the way, dagdag ko lang, nabanggit ko yung 2 dunks ni Edwards.
Yeah.
Sa game 3. First 2 dunks of the series yun. First 2 dunks of the season. Game 1 and 2, wala siyang dunk. Hindi mo iisipin yun na si Edwards, at least may isang dunk yan per game. At least isa.
Yeah.
First 2 games, wala.
I don't know if this matters, but yung second dunk niya, he could have dunked it hard, pero linagay niya. Lang niya.
Conserve na ng energy.
That's a sign of maturity, in my opinion. And speaking of maturity, I feel like sakit to ng mga young players. They get complacent because they feel like with their youth and physical ability, they can turn it on anytime they want.
Totoo yan. Hindi na tayo makarelate doon kasi hindi na tayo youthful.
Yeah. But I said this in a previous episode, Chris. One last point before we move to the Eastern Conference Final Series. We are done already. Tapos na tayo sa Big 3 era ng NBA. To win a championship, hindi na uubra yung Big 3. Sinubukan na yan ng Lakers when they got LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook. Did not work. Brooklyn tried it with Kyrie, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Did not work. The Phoenix Suns tried it. Devin Booker, Beal, KD. Did not work. We are in a young man era now where you need players.
Role players. Star in their roles.
Yeah, exactly. Hindi kailangan na superstar with big contracts. Yes. Guys who will play defense and outwork
the Carusos, the Hartensteins.
Yes.
Diba?
And the blueprint, Christian, I feel like itong Pacers and OKC, I said it in the previous episode, I feel like Indiana is OKC light. They play similar in the sense that they defend, and then when they get out on the break, they're a nightmare.
Ang dami nilang similarities. No? And
yes.
You could say na Haliburton and si Siakam is probably into one ni SGA because wala naman yung parang superstar-ish sa Pacers. But I think, we're leaning towards, even though nanalo na ang New York.
Nanalo na.
2-1 na.
Nanalo na.
Nanalo na ang New York.
What's the score? What's the score?
It's 106-100. Wow. 106-100. 2-1.
My wish of a New York-Minnesota finals is alive. But of course, Christian and I were in disagreement again. Dahil
here's the thing.
Siya, Minnesota.
Gusto ko ilinaw to.
Okay.
I'm rooting for New York because of Jalen Brunson. My wife is a big Jalen Brunson fan.
Wow.
I love Jalen Brunson, especially yung shot making niya and clutch gene na meron siya.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think Indiana's gonna win the series. They're just a better team overall.
Okay. Sige, we'll end at this and then pick up from that last point that you just mentioned. You guys are still hanging out with me, Anton Rojas and Christian Luanzon here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Pinoy Step Podcast is brought to you by Arena Plus Network, your ultimate fast break to NBA action. Stay updated with the latest takes by subscribing to the Arena Plus Network and Pinoy Step Podcast YouTube channel. Listen and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Your support is like a perfect assist. It helps keep the show going. Sama-sama sa Arena. You're back with us here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Thank you so much for rolling with us every week, listening wherever you are, whether it is on Spotify, watching us on YouTube, my favorite place to watch the show.
Me too.
Facebook. TikTok? What about TikTok?
Wala pa akong TikTok. I don't think I will have TikTok.
Doon ka pinakasikat, partner. Although nakabawi ka na.
Nakabawi na, yes.
Yung mga fans, yung mga hirit nila sa TikTok sa'yo, sige na nga.
May mga nag-sorry ba? May mga nag-sorry? Wala.
Ano lang, yung mga tipong, sige na nga, sige na nga.
Talaga? Meron? Okay.
Okay.
Yan din sabi ng mga players ko eh. Sabi, sige na nga, coach.
Alright. So, from the Western Conference Final Series, we move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Mrs. Luanzon, Marie Luanzon.
Bakit?
You brought up Marie. Shout out to Marie. Sabi mo, Jalen Brunson is her favorite player.
Yes. Next to the Spurs. She's a Spurs fan.
Okay.
Pero dahil wala sa playoffs ang Spurs, ever since last year, talagang grabe yung amazement niya sa heart ng New York Knicks, specifically si Brunson.
Okay, so
2 years now.
Okay.
2 years.
What is it about Jalen Brunson? Kasi kung ikukumpara ko yung laro mo sa laro ni
layo
sa ibang-iba.
Ang layo. There's no craftiness in my game.
No, come on, man. You're being modest.
No. I'm not.
You got some Kobe in your game.
I'm
okay?
not. But anyway, Brunson yun nga kasi yung heart niya. You talk about a guy, I'm not sure if my wife even knows this, who took a lot less, millions, 6 figures.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Oo, nabasa ko rin yan.
That's the first thing. Okay? For him to take less, for his not only soon-to-be teammates, no, na sila Mikal Bridges, and for them to get that cat trade, di ba? But, para mapirma nila yun, di ba? And the millions that he sacrificed. That's the first thing. Admirable, really.
Selfless. Grabe.
Second, the shot making, yung puso na pinapakita niya, 'di ba? Against Drew Holiday.
Of all people.
My goodness, one of the best defensive guards in the NBA. The kind of shots that he took, he made, especially in the Celtics series, and last year being hurt and all, talagang na-injure lang siya eh. Kakaiba yung kanyang scoring prowess. And then, yun nga, the first guy to get the award na
clutch player.
Clutch player.
Yeah.
Kakaiba.
Although in game number 2, I thought it was a bad shot kasi may 9 seconds pa tapos ang layo.
Really?
What did you think about that? 9 seconds pa eh.
You have a point. And I heard also the panel, no, yung TNT crew after that say the same thing.
That's a bad shot. Chuck.
Here's the thing. I thought it was not a good shot. It was not the best shot.
Yeah.
But it's a shot that I'm willing to die with also. Because number one, it was Jalen Brunson. Second, if he took that a little longer, which would eat more time, 9 seconds nga sabi mo, then after the miss, wala na silang chance to foul and to send Indiana at the free throw line. After that, nagkaroon pa sila ng chance eh. What if, even after he misses the shot, nag-miss ng 2 free throws, babalikan ba yung tirang na yun? Yung tira na yun.
Yeah.
Kaya niya tinira ng medyo maaga yun. That's just my take.
Okay. There's a lot I want to get into with regards to this series because marami tayo napansin like the Pacers not fouling up with the Knicks because some teams do that, right? They will foul instead of risk
after being up by 3, after the OP top and down.
Okay. Jalen Brunson, okay, for all his greatness these past couple of years being in New York, I think masyadong nag-overreact sina Stephen A. Smith at yung mga New Yorkers na sinasabi na Jalen Brunson has an opportunity to be the greatest New York Knick of all time. What? Like, I think people are getting overly excited. You guys need to relax. Okay,
Yes.
what about Willis Reed? What about Walt Frazier?
Patrick Ewing.
What about Patrick Ewing, who
Yeah.
had so much hype? Number
What
one
about
pick.
his dad, Rick Brunson?
well, he's better than his dad. Okay,
Yeah.
He's better than his dad. But what about Sprewell? What about Alan
You're
Houston?
now you're reaching. Now
Hey,
you're reaching.
Hey, Latrell Sprewell brought the Knicks to the finals. He was the best player that year.
Was he?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. It wasn't Ewing. Ewing was banged up, and there were times that
Wasn't it
Marcus
Charlie
Camby-
Ward?
Why? Because he punched your guy?
Yeah. He did. Sino nga sinuntok niya?
It's Kobe.
Was Kobe-
Wait, or was it Chris Childs? I'm confused
It
with
was
those
Chris
two.
Childs.
guys.
It was Chris Childs.
I'm confused with those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Your point,
Sprewell.
go.
Sprewell.
I disagree. Okay. Brunson, much better than Sprewell.
Okay, what about Melo? Okay, Melo, I don't know if greatest Knick of all time, but
He's not.
I would argue na mas marami pang nagawa si Melo sa ngayon ha, kumpara kay Brunson.
True, but the thing is, team success ang tinitingnan nila. You know, and I think Melo's best finish was first round as a Knick. We gotta go.
We gotta pull it up.
You gotta pull it up. I don't remember him taking the Knicks to the second round. I remember him taking the Knicks to the playoffs. Stoudemire, I think, was there. Wala pa yata si Chandler nun. Tyson Chandler.
Tyson Chandler.
Yeah. But it has to be Willis Reed at this point.
Greatest Knick of all time.
I'm gonna put,
Willis
hindi ako
Reed.
sure kung binanggit mo pa nga eh. Bernard King.
Oh, forgot Bernard King.
40-point scorer.
My bad.
I mean, you talk about, we always mention si DeRozan as the perimeter king, the mid-range. Bernard King, he was a walking bucket. Grabe yun. Ang laki pa nun, ha?
So, 2 first round exits for New York.
See? Under Melo?
Yeah, under Melo. And then there was a season where second round. Yeah, so...
meron second round.
Yeah, may second round.
Okay.
But okay. Mas malayo, mas...
Forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jalen Brunson reached longer than Melo. But in terms of like the overall body of work, I think mas lamang pa si Melo ng konti. But you know, we'll see because New York just won game number 3. All right, partner, let's break it down. Game number 1. This was a 1 game for New York until Tyrese
Collapse.
Halliburton happened.
Neesmith first.
Yeah, Neesmith. But I think the moment that the whole world gravitated towards to was the choke.
Yep.
The choke of Tyrese Halliburton, which almost became premature.
Right. But I mean, it's enough for to force overtime.
Yeah.
Diba? I mean, my goodness. Up 14 last 3 minutes. Was something like that. No? And you see a lot of the opinions, no, ng mga experts doon. It's one of the greatest collapse of all time. Diba? Kasi up 14 last 3 minutes. And then Neesmith, who shot the lights out.
5 yun, diba?
5, but for the whole game, parang 8 of 9. Diba? 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Insane.
Kakaiba.
He caught fire.
I mean, that was the Neesmith game. Obviously, sprinkled by the Halliburton 2-point foot on the line, a la Kevin Durant, shot. A lot of Knicks fans, di ba, they have this angle. No, galing sa likod na nag-double dribble daw. Did you see that?
Yeah,
video?
I saw that, but then I also saw the foul. As in, he literally Bridges literally squeezed the.
Kaya parang
the
nawala
bicep.
yung bola eh.
Oo.
Diba?
Oo.
And then he was inside the paint, defended by Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
And then he stepped back. Dalawang dribble lang yata yun eh. Yung pagtulok niya sa labas ng bola. But how about that bounce?
Yeah.
Reminiscent that Kawhi Leonard shot back in Toronto, clinching the series against the Sixers. Ito naman, grabe.
Pero isang mataas lang na bounce.
Isang mataas na bounce that usually 99.9% diba, would often hit the shot clock.
Yeah.
Yung mga ganong bounces, you talk about drama.
Yeah.
that's as drama as it can be.
Yeah.
Diba? Yung game 1 na yun with that bounce and then overtime, yung go-ahead basket ni Haliburton. You remember? That drive to the basket.
Yeah.
And then showing his skinny upper body strength. I think it was like it was go-ahead basket, 123, 122, something like that. And then obviously, nanalo sila nung larong yun. He had 31 and 11.
Yeah, going back to Neesmith, you mentioned 8 out of 9 from
8 of
beyond the
9
arc for the game. 8
20
out
in the
of
fourth
9.
quarter. Tama?
Yeah. So, and this was done despite 43 points from Jalen Brunson and 35 points from Karl Anthony Towns. They got the best from the 2 stars and they still escaped with a victory.
Towns,
absolute cinema. Absolute cinema.
Towns even had that, I think it was his first 3 in the first half and then tinapik niya si James Johnson, di ba?
Sa bench.
Early in the first half,
Yeah.
nasa likod lang niya, di ba? Interesting stat, Anton. One of the things I still believe in, I always say, is the same philosophy ni Pat Riley, the great Pat Riley. He always says, no rebounds, no rings. And that's usually the case. In this series, even after New York winning Game 3, rebounds, first 2 games lamang ang New York. First game, 46-39. Second game, 38-32. Indiana wins. Why? Because there is not much rebounds on the part of Indiana. They made more shots. Game 3, kakatapos ngayon lang. Lamang ang Pacers, 38-37 sa rebounds.
So it's contradicting.
It's contradicting that statement. Tapos nanalo ang Knicks. Why? Obviously, pag mas marami yung puntos mo, mas marami yung na-shoot mo. 'Di ba? So bottom line, 'di ba? Kung gusto mong makontradict yung statement niyo, kailangan mas marami yung shoot mo. Ganun lang kasimple.
And so it looks like the haters, the naysayers of Pat Riley na nagsasabing obsolete na yung ways niya. Parang they're smiling right now. They're smiling after hearing those stats that you just brought out. All right, game number 2. Christian, nadaanan na natin to sa ating fast break. This was the Pascal Siakam game, playoff career high, 39 points. Now, I want to get your thoughts on yung kasi down by 3 yung New York, di ba? Tapos tumira ng 3 points si Brunson. Hindi nag-foul yung Indiana. And for 2 games, they have shown that they're not the team that is gonna foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna risk, they're willing to risk it actually. Na patirahin ng 3 yung player. Your thoughts on that? Do you foul or do you risk the player jacking up a 3?
Well, first of all, yung coach, Rick Carlisle, in this situation, he knows his team best. So, it's not a matter of which is better. It's a matter of your coach knowing your team. And obviously, compared to all of us watching on the sidelines, maybe even compared to his assistant coaches, kilala niya yung team niya. To me, I think, it's better to foul. I think it's better to foul, especially in the NBA level. Because players are just too good of creating and hitting threes. Even at times, 4-point plays.
Yep.
Panahon pa ni Jamal Crawford to. Di ba? One of the, I think he leads the league in 4-point plays. Okay? My point is, itong Indiana, they trust their defense. It just shows also that they can defend and that they're confident enough to win with their defense, which they have shown dun sa 2 games na yun. Let's break it down.
Yeah.
Pag nag-foul ka, di ba? The probability, there's a lot of scenarios to that compared to only one scenario sa making a 3. Di ba? First of all, you could choose who to foul. So if you choose let's say, a 70% free throw shooter, di pabor sa'yo. Di ba? Second, you have to make the first one. Diba? Third, the second one, gusto mong i-miss, but at the same time, the best chance for you to get the rebound. And then you have to get the rebound and kick it out. Diba? Or maybe a stick back for overtime. So, ang daming scenario instead of one. That's why I'm more of
fouling.
Diba? So, si Coach Gold, hindi ko alam. That's just me. I cannot speak for him.
All right. So, game number 2, Indiana Game number 3, it looked like it was gonna be Indiana again. As we are recording this episode, on the way here, we were tuning into the game.
Yeah.
20-point lead, as you mentioned, Christian.
55-35 nung second quarter, after nung dunk ni Haliburton after the steal. And then while we were discussing and then looking at the score, lo and behold, diba? I think looking at the numbers sa box score, what stood out to me, aside from the rebounds that we just mentioned, nanalo ang Indiana, diba, sa rebounding department for the first time in the series, okay? Pero panalo ang New York. Here's the thing. Landry Shamet
naglaro.
Played 11 minutes. I don't think he played, right? First 2 games. Okay, and then si Delon Wright also played significant minutes, 13 minutes. Deuce McBride, okay, played 15 minutes, had 9 points. Okay, and was still playing in crucial moments of the fourth quarter. Pinasok si Bronson, less than 3 minutes na, si McBride nandun. But isa sa mga adjustments ng New York, again, looking at the box score, nakita mo rin to.
Yeah.
Sinimula nila, nagtubig sila.
Yep.
Diba? Mitchell Robinson at the 5, Cat at the 4. Now, did it work? I don't know. Tulad ng sabi namin, tambak. Etong New York, yung first half ng 20. But it's a different look. So, ang importante yung end result, nanalong New York.
Ang
they're back in the series.
Ang importante, partner, nag-adjust na itong si Tom Thibodeau because he's also very hard-headed. He's a coach that is gonna stick to his ways. I don't care what anybody says. People saying I'm running my players to the ground, playing them 40 minutes all throughout the season. We're not gonna last. He finally realized that this is not working. I have to swallow my pride and I'm going to extend my rotation. Now, itong Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns, I envision this Kasi sabi ko, parang ang lalaki ng Indiana. Hindi pwedeng si Karl Anthony Towns lang because Karl Anthony Towns, like one of the negative things about him is sometimes he's not physical because he's a guy that can also play on the outside. So kailangan niya ng katulong, kailangan niya ng rest back. That is Mitchell Robinson. So they made the adjustment and I think that's the big story here in game number 3. Nag-adjust si Tom Thibodeau and in the end, it worked.
It did. And
you're right, Landry Shamet did not play in game number 1 and in game number 2. But if PJ Tucker plays, I've seen it all.
Yeah, that's a great point. Especially the shoes. Well, kinailangan niya na magpalalim. No? And I think it's primarily because of what Obi Toppin brings.
Oh yeah,
to Indiana.
Obi Toppin, my God.
He was the one who stretched the lead, even got fouled. No call, diba? To 3 on that mental lapse defensively by New York nung game 2, diba? Inbound nung sa sideline.
Yeah.
And also, they got a match yung binibigay ni TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a younger version ni Peyton Pritchard. No? Mas veterano lang, obviously. And etong si McConnell, ang galing kasi nung ginagawa niya kahit na maliit, knows how to finish. He lives in the paint and has that, meron siyang mga kada laro, kung napapansin mo yung mga Nash-type dribble.
Yeah.
Umiikot siya sa baseline.
You know what? I saw a TJ McConnell interview recently and he gave his reason about how to survive and have a career in the NBA. Sinabi niya, you have to have a calling card. Something that you are good at.
To stand out.
Yeah. And sabi niya, yung calling card niya is he can defend 94 feet.
Sinabi niya yun.
94 feet.
Dapat talaga. Alam mo, pag hindi ka kalakihang tao, di ba, you really have to stand out. Kasi mas pipiliin talaga ng mga coaches usually yung mga mas mahaba, mas mabibilis. Pero tulad nung sinabi mo, kung tulad niya, talagang sisipagan niya at papakita siya ng malaking puso. No? Puso yan
Yep.
Kasi yan yung mga hindi willing gawin nung iba.
Yeah.
Then you give yourself a chance to have a nice career tulad ni TJ McConnell.
And you have to be in excellent shape to be able to defend 94 feet.
Tama.
Yeah.
Tama.
Speaking of being in excellent shape, I just want to say since both
Shoutout
players...
ba to?
Hindi naman.
Akala ko kasi tumitingin ka sa cellphone mo eh.
Hindi. I pulled out the 2020 draft kasi ang daming mga players na naglalaro pa rin ngayon sa Final Four, so to speak, here in the NBA. Diba? Anthony Edwards, number 1 pick. And then Obi Toppin, who was drafted by New York.
Yes.
And then Tyrese Halliburton, number 12, drafted by the Kings.
Yes.
So ang grabe, diba? Number 8, Obi Toppin, he's now with Indiana, coming off the bench. So, but he was a lottery pick here. Tyrese Halliburton, a lot of people doubted him. Diba?
Yeah. I didn't.
Okay, well.
Nagustuhan ko, sa Kings pa lang, nagustuhan ko na siya. And I thought it was a good trade for both teams. Sa bonus.
Beneficial, yeah. So, a lot of people have been talking online na if there was a redraft, James Wiseman wouldn't have gone number 2. Although I disagree because James Wiseman was a beast in college. Played for Penny Hardaway.
He did.
Played for Penny Hardaway. And at the time, the Warriors needed a center. They needed a center.
And from what I recall, I thought he was playing well first half of the season.
Oh!
Diba?
And he was starting also.
And he was showing outstanding footwork, catching lobs, being a threat. Just didn't turn out well for him ngayon. Nag-season-ending injury siya, with Detroit. Is he with Detroit?
Yeah. Nawala eh. Like, I mean, people are calling him a bust now. Kylian Hayes also from France. A lot of people said that he was kind of like a Tony Parker player, had the potential to be the next great point guard from France.
Si Kylian Hayes.
But grabe, I mean, now you have Tyrese Halliburton shooting up to being one of the best point guards in the NBA, could lead Indiana to the finals. It's just so hard to evaluate talent.
Tama yun. Let me just add to that. Napag-usapan natin si TJ McConnell, nabanggit ko si Peyton Pritchard. He also said that hard work is a skill. If it wasn't, then everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
So the point is, but even though you lack this and that athleticism, height, tulad ni McConnell and ni Pritchard, if you work hard enough and you stand out, diba? And we've seen this also in life, the game of life, diba? Whatever yung profession mo, hard work can bring you to places. And these two certainly display that. So, Anton.
Yeah.
Ano ba sa Tagalog yun? Trumabaho ka!
Noted, Mr. Pinoy Step. Noted. And on that note, we'd like to thank everybody who tuned in, and just a little bit more reminders before we close the show dito sa ating breakdown ng Eastern Conference Finals at ng Western Conference Finals on the Pinoy Step Podcast.
Halftime break? Not really. This is your chance to lock in. You know, every athlete has one thing in common. Di nila kinaya ng mag-isa. So if you're cheering from home or on the go, ipakita mo ang suporta by visiting arenaplus.ph kasi bawat fan may impact. Catch the games live for free at arenaplus.ph.
Again, a massive shout out sa lahat ng mga nanonood, nagfa-follow, nagsasubscribe dito sa Pinoy Step Podcast kung saan pinag-uusapan natin ang NBA, napakainit ng mga bakbakang napanood natin throughout these NBA playoffs, and we want to say thank you so much sa lahat ng mga nag-share and of course nagko-comment. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Partner, it's been quite a ride in the playoffs, and I said this during I said this in my Instagram post where I posted your video as well, which you sent me on Facebook.
Hindi ko alam ba't pinost mo. Hindi na ako magpapadala sa'yo.
Hindi, natuwa ako eh. Very smooth.
Thank you.
I have not been this invested in the NBA playoffs in a while. Kasi ngayon, nag-a-alarm ako ng 3 a.m.
Well, hindi na surprise sa akin yan. Kasi matagal nang wala sa playoffs yung team mo Chicago Bulls.
Again, I am not a Chicago Bulls fan. Okay, I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
Okay. So there's a difference. Okay.
But yeah, like LaMelo Ball, diba? He barely plays. So like anyway, Denver nga ako I predicted magcha-champion in Denver, but that went out the window.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have not been this invested in the NBA playoffs, and I think
you should be.
Despite the injuries, of course, it sucks that a lot of injuries happened, but grabe yung mga storylines, yung drama, absolute cinema. And I'm so excited that, sipin mo, one of these new stars are gonna be champions, man.
Tama.
Can you imagine SGA could be a first-time champion? Anthony Edwards could be a first-time champion. Tyrese Halliburton or Jalen Brunson. I think these playoffs, we're gonna remember these playoffs as the year that ushered in the new era of NBA basketball.
That's true. Because gone are the days, especially next year, yung pag-apply ng bagong CBA rules. Diba? Na yung mga first apron, second apron, ngayon, palaliman na. At nakikita natin yan sa OKC at sa Indiana.
Palaliman, yeah.
That's why I think, okay, once they meet in the finals, okay, I think it's gonna be OKC, Indiana. Okay, because they're the better team. Okay. I'm gonna give OKC the edge because of their defensive prowess. I think offensively, lamang slightly ang Indiana. But there's a reason why na walang statement na offense will win you championships. Because it's been proven, okay, time and time again, from decade to decade, that defense wins championships.
Yeah.
And OKC has both, being the best on the defensive end, and they have the MVP. Okay? But I think it's going to be a 7-game series. Okay? But hey, like I said also, just to be clear, I'm rooting for New York. I'm rooting for New York. If they win Game 4, wag natin kalimutan. That means yung chances of having a Game 7 mataas. Game 7 will be in New York. So sa tingin ko, pag umabot doon, New York na ako. Okay, so there's a difference to that. Okay, so
and in the finals, if ever New York OKC, New York ka doon. Or OKC pa rin.
Pero
New York, wow!
New York
over
ako
OKC,
ron. Rooting for New York.
Okay.
Kasi minsan, sabi nga no, sa pag-ibig, nangingibabaw dapat ang puso sa isip. 'Di ba? So ganun din yan. Pag New York OKC, mangingibabaw yung puso ko. Kasi nandun yung puso ng asawa ko.
Yun. No better way to end our episode
Maniwala
today.
kayo sa akin. 17 years na po akong kasal. Happily married.
Yeah. And that wraps up another episode right here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. For Christian Luanzon, ako po si Anton Ross nagsasabing maraming salamat sa inyong panonood, and we will see you all again next week for episode 11 of the Pinoy Step Podcast. Sama-sama sa arena.
Thanks for listening to today's exciting conversation on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Kung nararamdaman mo yung drive, yung passion, at yung hustle, huwag mo lang itago. Suportahan ang paborito mong teams by going to arenaplus.ph. Be part of every win and every milestone. Until the next episode, take care and keep cheering. See you at arenaplus.ph.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Arena Plus Sportsbook, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.